Hi, Start Loving.
Hello, Lizzie. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fine.
Okay.
We don't worship heart in this society. We worship stuff. We worship clothes. We worship iPods. We worship boys. We worship girls. We worship houses. We worship careers. We do not worship truly loving people. Love as described by Teresa of Calcutta, it's the best definition I've seen, is love is that which cannot remain passive in the face of suffering. We don't worship that. We pay lip service to it. It is atrophied. I wish I could point you to the studies, but only a little work it would pop up within the last year. Important studies showed that among your age group, the polls that have, or the studies that have been done year in and year out for decades, looking at the level of measurable empathy in college folks, is at lows that were never dreamed of. Now, each of us needs to judge whether what I just said matters. Does it really matter if we're people that value stuff and our capacity for feeling oneness, for feeling genuine love is atrophied? Well, I think so.
Yeah.
All our great artists think so. All our great writers throughout history, all our great religious leaders. But that's the answer to your question.
Okay.
Our capacity to feel solidarity, to feel oneness, to love, that the other person's pain is my pain, has atrophied through lack of use. Of course we would have what you're describing. Of course we would. Why wouldn't we? Well, if we can't feel another person's pain, why would we not hurt them?
Yeah, absolutely. I know that there's a quote, I believe by Emily Dickinson, and it says, I dwell in possibility. And I just, in my creative writing class the other day, I was thinking, one of my questions was, how did we lose care in other people? And my answer was, because we dwell in ourselves. We can't really think, I think oftentimes we can't think outside of what's going on in our personal lives.
Well, we, I would certainly not chastise you, but I would caution you that any time we say we can't, we've just shut off our avenues of imagination. We usually don't. We find it difficult to, leaves those avenues open for wondering the all-important question, why? And the answer is we don't in this culture, because we have eliminated, by not caring about them, we've eliminated all the cues, whether it's the models in our parents or our doctors or our ministers. The primary mode of learning is, what's it called? Vicarious learning. When I see in someone else, they behave in a certain way, they feel in a certain way, that's the most powerful way of learning. We can't escape it. We're wired that way. Well, when we see that the people around us are emoting over an iPod or some program or some clothes, and that's our steady diet, what's going to actualize in us? So in this society, it's really hard to have those capacities. I've had to create an environment and wrap it around me. To hide? No, to grow. Someone goes and wraps themselves in a gym. To hide? No, presumably to gain strength. I've had to push out of my circuitry, out of my field of view, all the garbage that our society pushes in and bring in instead largely dead people, King, Gandhi, Jesus, Teresa of Calcutta. And in doing so and in living there, it actualizes that part of my nervous system.
I know I was listening to one of the videos that you had posted, and I think you said to Obama that he isn't there to put makeup, quote, to put makeup on the corpse of us. And I really like that terminology. Did you want to go maybe a little bit further on that?
It was new to me today as I was trying to understand what's going on in me, what's going on in my clarity. I recognized it as that, and therefore I wanted to understand it more deeply. It was very new imagery for me, and I think it's very correct.
Yeah.
We 300 million of us, we are a corpse. That is, if the distinguishing human characteristic is our capacity to love. And it's very hard to find a person we pay lip service to respecting that wouldn't say that. It's not our capacity to like a new dress. That's not what's important about being human. Well, if the studies I just cited were correct about how folks your age have largely lost that circuitry, if the scientists are right and we're on the verge of giving you a shell of a planet to live on, and we're not standing up, we are a corpse. And everything else, all of our other problems, are a manifestation of that. And unless we solve that central problem, we're just straightening the deck chairs on the Titanic.